Good evening. Thanks for looking in tonight. I'm Marella Porter in for Michael Warwick. We're glad you chose Fox 10 News on this Saturday night. Starting with breaking news tonight, gunfire erupting at Bass Pro Shops in Spanish Fort, right by the boat and ATV service section. Investigators say 2 people are in custody. Fox 10 News getting an up-close and personal look at the scene after the shooting. A dumpster littered with bullet holes, trailers, doors, and more, all hit by gunfire. Spanish Fort police say they don't know why the shooter opened fire at the store, but tell Fox 10 News he and another were taken into custody. A witness says the suspect was tased before being taken down, and only after close to 50 shots were fired at the store. Fox 10 News Baldwin County reporter Hal Sherrick has more from that witness, which sheds some light on the frightening ordeal.
He shot through our window right here in the marine area. Luckily, one of the guys who actually works in that area closed the door before he can get inside. And he just shot up the entire place. I mean, he literally shot through that door at least 50 times.
Davis Marrero had just arrived to work when it all came to an end just after 12:30 this afternoon. He'd been directed away from the area he normally parks when he says a state trooper and other law enforcement converged on the shooter.
They came around, they cut me off. And I just see him come down, just to get him on the ground. They tased him, but he got back up. I thought either he was on some alternating drug, something like that, but he was a pretty strong guy. It took about 5 guys to take him down.
According to a Baldwin County Sheriff's Office tweet, all of this happened outside the boat and ATV service area. Spanish Fort police are investigating, but have released very little information and have not identified the suspect.
And still open investigation. We're still interviewing all involved, and as far as charges, they will be pending upon that result.
Police say they have 2 people in custody. As to the second suspect's involvement, Marrero says he saw a woman giving the gunman more ammunition.
I know because she was throwing ammo at him to actually reload and keep shooting.
As of this afternoon, police say they had not yet been able to question the suspect about his actions. Reporting from Spanish Fort, Hal Sherrick, Fox 10 News.
Police say they hope to release more information, including the names of the suspects, as early as tomorrow. And just into our newsroom now, Spanish Fort Police Chief John Barber telling us an officer sustained minor injuries and has been treated and released. And within minutes of the shooting, people who saw the commotion outside and some who were inside of the store started posting across Facebook describing the terrifying scene. People also sending us messages here at Fox 10. I spoke to some of them just hours after the chilling moments. A trip to Bass Pro Shops in Spanish Fort taking a frightening turn this afternoon.
We were backing out of our parking spots, and then suddenly you hear like maybe 10 or 15 more gunshots.
A gunman lurking outside, firing dozens of shots into the busy store.
When we were sitting in the truck, we seen this lady and I'm assuming her husband just come like running out of the store.
This picture, taken by someone who was inside, shows the shooter on the ground seconds after he was taken down by police.
There was numerous cops outside the store with firearms, and they had it all locked down and blocked off. You couldn't even get in the parking lot.
Inside of the building, Ryan Jernigan and her family hid. Her 6 kids tucked in a corner.
And the lady that worked with Bass Pro, she was able to tell us, she said, well, there's a man in the parking lot with a gun. We were hearing that shots were fired and they didn't know where the person was at the time. They lost him. So that was scary.
As the shooter roamed outside, Stephanie Van was walking up to the front doors with her children. She quickly learned they were in danger.
By the time we started walking inside, one of the guys opened up the door and told us that they're closed, that they had to go back inside, and we needed to go ahead and leave because there was a mass shooting or there was a guy that had a gun on the inside.
Now, Fox 10 News will continue to update you on this breaking news story on air and online as more details become available. And we first told you about this story on our free Fox 10 News app. Download it on your Android or Apple devices to receive all our breaking news and weather push alerts so you can stay informed. 3 people charged in the murder of Alan Wilson near I-65 and Cottage Hill. Kendrell and Ricardo Petway, along with Ja'Cory Barrage, all arrested yesterday in connection to the shooting on Angus Drive South. Both Kendrell and Ricardo Petway are also charged with attempting to elude and possession of marijuana. The jail log shows they'll be in court for those charges on Monday. Mobile police say the investigation is still ongoing, and as more details become available, we'll share them with you. A former employee from the Brennedy Assisted Living Facility in Daphne is facing charges for abuse of a corpse. Ashley Mache Williams arrested after Daphne police said charges were not likely. Daphne police say investigators decided to go ahead with the charges after talking with the Baldwin County District Attorney's Office Last month, cell phone video surfaced on social media showing Williams poking a recently deceased resident. Williams is free on bail, but her legal problems may be far from over. She was already facing drug possession charges after a traffic stop in June. That was the day after the alleged incident at the Brennedy. Prosecutors are asking a judge to revoke bond in that case, citing the new arrest. An update now on the fight against coronavirus. Scientists working around the clock to combat the virus. 3 vaccine trials already in the final stages of clinical trials in the U.S. The CDC telling states to be ready to distribute as early as November. Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are still working to come to an agreement on another stimulus bill. It's been more than a month since benefits expired from the last one. Warnings are adamant for people this holiday weekend to not repeat the spreading activities of Memorial Day and July 4th. Under normal circumstances, tens of millions of people would be gearing up for a vacation this Labor Day weekend. But the coronavirus outbreak is forcing changes and cancellations across the country. Those who are traveling are expected to go significantly shorter distances, and most in cars, not planes. Airline bookings are only about a third of what they were last year. Public health experts say they're particularly concerned about college students who may be tempted to head home for the long weekend, potentially spreading the virus to parents and grandparents. Meteorologist Matt Barentine joins us now. Matt, I know a lot of people are heading to the beach, hoping to soak up some sun for Labor Day. What are we expecting for the rest of the weekend?
They've got it in tons down at our beaches here. We've got really good Labor Day weekend type of weather. Hot weather, don't get me wrong on that. I mean, look at the highs today. 99 at Brookley Field downtown, 98 Pensacola, 98 in Crestview today. So really hot temperatures, and we had humidity on top of it, making it feel about like 106, 107 this afternoon. So really hot, sweltering day. Still pretty mild out there tonight. Temperatures in the lower to mid 80s in many spots, even at this hour. So it's still pretty warm. Not much in the way of rain. There's been pretty dry today. Things continue to be that way here this evening. Here's your planner as we go through the rest of the night. Going into tomorrow morning, there is a change. Humidity is coming down. We've actually had a little weak. Of course, at this time of year, early September, when you get a front that comes through, they're always really weak. Not going to have a huge impact, but you will notice it is going to be somewhat less humid tomorrow morning. So that's going to allow our temperatures to get down to about 70-ish. So for the first couple hours tomorrow morning, it's going to feel pretty good for the first couple of hours, and things are going to heat on up very, very quickly after that. So once again, like we were saying, good place to be would be the beach. Great weather down at our beaches here tomorrow. Rip current risk is low. The UV index pretty high, so make sure you wear plenty of sunscreen. But all in all, looking really nice at our beaches. The tropics, no name storms right now out in the tropics, but we have 3 areas we're keeping an eye on. Well, seems like the satellite dropped out, but I'll get that all fixed for you, and we'll talk about what we're going to expect with all these coming up in just a few minutes.